Make a small space, maximize the use, as opposed to having a huge space, and then you have to support that with the debt and support that with the revenue. So the goal here is to make sure that every square footage is making some type of revenue to support the debt. And so that's why we're looking at opportunities to use it in different ways, in flexible ways, and not just, well, this is what we do here for this, and this is what every space could be used for something. So that's the main goal.
All right, so we are out here at the Kornr Store and checking it out. It's a new place here in Detroit, run by Brinda Devine. She's been working on this for a few years. She participated with the Urban Entrepreneurship class, now the Innovation for Urban Impact class at Michigan. She was one of the Urban Entrepreneur Partners. And so we're just going to come to the store and check out the Kornr Store and talk to Brinda, see what it's about. Here we go. We are in the Kornr Store. And here is the owner, proprietor, founder, Brinda Devine. How you doing, Brinda?
Pretty good. Excellent. Welcome to Kornr Store.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. It's first time here. Again, I really appreciate you working with our class. What was it, a couple years ago now?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
This wasn't even built at the time.
No, it was not.
But I really appreciate it and just want to come and see what the store is about. So you want to show us around, and then I want to ask you a few questions about the whole process. All right?
Excellent. So you just came through the front door. This is a Kornr Store, Kornr store, located in Northwest Goldberg, Detroit.
Now, why that spelling?
It's spelled that way so it forces you to look for it, and it's different and unique. And also there are hundreds of regular spelled Kornr stores, and there's hundreds of the Kornr stores start with a K. So it's just a brand name, it kind of stands out, and it just makes you think, as opposed to just, oh, it's a Kornr store. Yeah, it's more than that. So,
okay, cool. All right, so let's see, we got some beverages over here. We got some fancy coffee machine over here.
Yes.
How much is that coffee machine? Because that looks expensive.
It was pricey. It was pricey. It's the only one in a retail setting like this in Michigan. And I have the first district here. So the coffee, Canopy coffee, no one complains about it. Everybody loves it, and it's consistent. It cleans throughout the day, and it's a self-serve, so you can have it make coffee for you.
I'm gonna get a cup before I go, and I'll pay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so we have ice cream too.
Oh, wow. Oh, just come right in the front door and grab some ice cream.
We have slushies when it's really hot. I'll make the slushies for people.
Can I bring my book down here? Maybe you can sell some for me.
And I have the books out because I want to have things out for people to touch. Because we don't think about picking up a book anymore, and I have predominantly male customers, and I want them to be able to pick up something and put it in their hands, and different topics to open, as it says, open your mind to think about other things.
I like these, this entrepreneurship theme, this money theme, whatnot, get people thinking, like you say. Okay.
So just to show you around, so we have I have customers looking for, these are the unhealthy foods, drinks. And then we have the healthier things. We have sandwiches that come in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, cut fruit, and then we have the healthier drinks.
Where do the sandwiches come from?
I get them from some local vendors, and I also go to stores nearby where I live and pick up sandwiches. Just having some consistency with the food. So I've had small vendors, and just sometimes they fall off, and I need to have another mechanism, because one of the things is when you tell people you have stuff, they expect to have it. So I have to make sure that I have the food for them. Because as I said, I have a lot of men that come in and they're looking for sandwiches, something to grab and go. So we have the healthier drinks, and we got the coffee kiosk, which, as I said, cleans throughout the day, which makes the cold. We have cold and hot coffees. Coffee, cappuccinos, espressos, macchiatos, and cocoa.
I just saw something like this in the Delta Club.
Yep.
At the airport.
Yep. So you'll see them at hospitals. You'll see them at the airport, but none in retail locations.
Yeah.
So this is the first in Detroit, and it's and it is in Northwest Goldberg, Detroit.
And how much for a cup of a regular black coffee?
So we are about anywhere from $2.60 to $3 for coffee for just regular coffee.
Yeah.
So we're slightly less than the other places.
Yeah.
And I'm told over and over again that our coffee is really good. So I think it's a bonus.
I just paid $4 for a cup of regular coffee.
Okay, so I mean, I think $3 is about the right price. So,
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. So
you ordered the coffee here?
Yeah. So you come actually to the kiosk, and then it's going to connect up with the internet. And so while it's swirling, because if it hasn't been used, probably about 20 minutes or so, then it has to connect again.
Yeah.
So when that pulls up, you'll see a menu that comes up for the hot drinks, the cold drinks, the regular drinks, and then like the cappuccinos and such.
Yeah.
So what you would do is once you place your order, there'll be a larger receipt, and then there'll be a QR code.
Yeah.
And then you will take your cup, and you will place your cup on the center, and then you will take the QR code, and then you'll hit those red eyes up there, and then it'll make your drink for you. And so here's the menu that pops up. So we have like the ice drinks.
Yeah.
We have the hot drinks.
Yeah.
We have the coffee drinks. We have the hot cocoa and the cappuccinos, espresso macchiato. So
how do you pay?
So actually the template, the facing needs to be changed. So if you have choices of oat milk, 2%, and you have opportunity for different flavors if you want. So I like hazelnut, and then I don't want extra espresso. Then I would add it to my cart, view the cart, confirm my order, and then pay now. So you wouldn't pay here. That needs to be changed. Eventually, you'll be able to pay for it here.
Yeah.
But then this receipt goes to me to the cash register. This goes out for checkout, and then you would place your cup here, and then you would hit the red eyes up there, and it would actually make your coffee for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it scans your.
It scans the QR code.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
cool.
I didn't put it up there because it will start. It will start.
All right.
Yeah. So that's it. This is our space back here for co-working space, vendor space, pop-up space. One of the things about Kornr Store, this is only about 800 square feet. Everything is movable.
Yeah.
It's on wheels and can be moved. And so everything that's consistent is the kiosk and the register. So we're on about the 5th version of Kornr Store right now because as I get new equipment in, I'm moving things around.
Okay.
We just got this freezer last week from Authority Health, which actually has local vendors, so you can pay with credit card, cash, EBT, and so they have healthy food options. So they bring in deliveries twice a week.
So if you want to have a party, you can move all this stuff out
Yes,
the way.
so everything can be moved. Yes, so and that's part of the design that this store is that it can be operated by one person.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have, because you already know that with grocery stores and stuff, the margins are low. So one person can operate the store, and that's the really good thing about the kiosk because the customer can operate it, and there's minimal input from me other than to clean it and make sure that it's stocked, it's full.
Cool.
So that's part of it, being able to move things around. So this space, like if someone wanted to rent the entire space and say, oh, I want to have a coffee meeting, I want to have a get together, then this space is rentable. Then this space back here with the co-working space or vendor space, we have the prep tables. If I have a food vendor, they can use a prep table. I have these tables can be moved. I have the 8-foot tables and chairs, so I have all of that already here.
You got the big screen.
Got the big screen if you want to log in, have a virtual meeting, if you want to have movie night, if you want to have game night, just making stuff flexible. So, and even with the food shelves, I've got 3 there. I can move them anywhere. I can make them smaller instead of having them built into the walls, and then you're confined to a certain frame.
How much to rent the spot for one evening? So
it's about $100 an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, so The space, like I said, it's just flexible. We just made it where when you come in, I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel like, oh, okay, I didn't expect this. And most people, when they come in, that's how they feel, and that was the intent. I want you to feel good when you're in here. I want you to feel like I belong here, I'm seen, I'm welcome, no matter what color, what age, what national, whatever. I don't care. I just want you to feel welcome when you come in here. Cool. And so that's primarily, I just want you to feel good, have some good food, some good coffee, some good vibes. And then we just have the fencing installed about 2 months ago. So the outdoor patio space.
Yeah, let me see that. I remember you talking about that during the class.
So you can get a coffee, you can get some grab and go food.
Hey, there's Mr. Barnett over there. What's he doing?
And then you could come out here and enjoy some sunshine.
Oh, wow.
Sit out on the patio.
Nice.
Watch yourself, please. Yeah, so you can come out here, enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah.
And then the way it works is that there's a separate gate that you can go out. So you can come in and go out that way. And then we have the backyard space. That is for event space. Yeah. Also, and then the gates open up. There's gravel in the back for a food truck. Yeah. And there's space on the street for a food truck.
So you could facilitate a little, community meeting or something here.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about all this.
Yeah. So we've already, the electrical is already, and then for a truck that already has their own generator. So actually I could have 2 trucks here at one time. Yeah. And then the gates open up. People could get the food. Yeah. I have tables. They could eat.
Somebody want to have a graduation party or something. Just roll up the food truck. You can serve them in there from out here.
Exactly. Yep. And then so that's the goal, is to take a small space, maximize the use, as opposed to having a huge space. Yeah. And then you have to support that with the debt. Yeah. And support that with the revenue. So the goal here is to make sure that every square footage is making some type of revenue to support the debt. Yeah. And so that's why we're looking at opportunities to use it in different ways, in flexible ways, and not just, well, this is what we do here for this, and this is what every space could be used for something. Yeah. So that's the main goal.
All right. So I'm going to take a few minutes now and just talk to you about, the origin of the business and everything. So that'll be chapter 2. Okay. Yeah, so again, Brinda, thanks for having us over here. Finally see the Kornr Store implemented. It's really, right. It's gratifying to see it go from, I know it must be gratifying to you, to see it go from idea to something real. But so from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I just wanted to ask you a few questions about this whole thing. Okay. And first of all, your background is in real estate, from what I understand? Yes. And you worked for Wayne State University?
Yeah, I worked for Wayne State 17 years, and prior to that, I worked for a boutique developer in West Bloomfield Hills. Okay,
and what did you do during that life? What kind of things did you do?
That life is a little similar to this life. That life was managing portfolios of corporate real estate assets for the boutique developer, and they were a small scale developer. And then at Wayne State, it was managing their portfolio of real estate assets, the corporate, the hospital, the retail, all of that, and just being strategic with the assets that we had.
So did you have to buy and sell, or maintain everything?
Yes. So basically acting as if you own it. Okay. It's just like asset management, acting as if you own it, and just making sure that the university's funds, just like with the developer, the boutique developer, making sure that the funds are being used appropriately, that the returns are being made, and like for returns for the university would be making sure that the space is usable for the tenants, making sure that the university is not paying more than what they need to pay, making sure that the risk was low. Yeah, those type of things. So what possessed you to go from that to starting Kornr Store? I know you know this is not easy. So I'm gonna give you there's a couple storylines to that, but in 2019, so I've always worked. I'm just gonna be upfront. I've always worked where an environment where I always saw white males accessing capital, and I was not. I had the understanding that would be a similar experience for others, And then in 2019, I started saying, well, let me see what it's like on the other side of the table, because I had been working on different projects with individuals for years, and I'm like, let me see what it's like on the other side of the table. I started doing research, and I realized that I didn't have a full picture, so I ended up taking the program with Capital Impact, a development program which gave me a lot of insights, but also gave me access to a lot of information, research on the different strategic neighborhoods in the city.
Where was that program? What was that
Capital Impact Partners, they have, well, I think the last cohort was last year, but they have an annual cohort of about 20 developers.
Now, who runs that?
Momentous Capital.
Okay.
And so they're a national program. Detroit is one of the locations. I believe they have 2 or 3 other locations where they have developer programs. So I completed the program, but I knew a lot of it already, but it was good to see the other side of people sharing their experiences, but also it just opened up my eyes to a lot of structural things that I hadn't been aware of. And the primary thing was the access to capital. So I ended up completing that program, and then I started working on a retail model, and ended up finding out that larger scale, that you needed to be a larger scale project to get attention, that the smaller scale projects, and the idea that neighborhoods weren't even on the list of conversations. Because I have been in real estate 30 years, and I have not been to one webinar or one class on being intentional about neighborhoods. So that opened my eyes. The more information that I got, that there was a need for healthy food, and there were food deserts. And at 2019, I didn't even know what a food desert was. And then when I started getting more information, I started realizing how it was tied to neighborhoods not being activated because of the businesses and the type of businesses that left and the type of businesses that were coming in. So I had, by divine purpose, I had been working on the retail model.
Divine purpose?
Divine purpose, God's purpose. That's why I have the sign over there, purpose, to remind me why I'm here. I had been working on a retail model before 2018, kind of dibbling, dabbling, and it kind of just aligned. And I just saw a need to do a smaller scale model and get back to what we all once knew as being a corner store in our neighborhoods, walkable. We have this walkable community concept in real estate, but we all had, the walkable is not new. It is a function of having what you need nearby so you can access it. So I was thinking that every time I see walkable, it's referred to downtown, it's referred to as the suburbs, but it's never applicable to neighborhoods. Because neighborhoods are never in the conversation for commercial real estate. There's a community word, but it's not really neighborhood. But Detroit is unique in that it has development towards strategic neighborhoods, but then you still have these multitudes of other smaller neighborhoods that are not getting that attention. So here at this area in Northwest Goldberg, this building was not in a strategic neighborhood. So funding was not available. So it took me 3 years to access the capital. And that just showed me that the neighborhoods that had access to the capital were the ones that could thrive. And the ones without were struggling. Because you're not going to invest in something that you see struggling.
Well, getting back to the purpose, though, you know, like you say, this is not a new concept. The idea of having retail or consumer goods and services in your neighborhood that you can access. I mean, I grew up with that in Flint, and a lot of people in Detroit grew up with that. Even in New York City today, they got bodegas in every neighborhood and whatnot, but somehow that left, right? And people have to get in their car and drive, you know, for 30 minutes to get to someplace. So is it accurate to say that you're trying to supply that need so people can right in their own neighborhoods access the kinds of goods that they would like to have?
I'm going to say that I'm trying to prove a point. And I'm trying to prove a point that you can have small scale neighborhood grocery stores in the neighborhoods, that you don't have to have a 4,000 or a 10,000 or a 20,000 store, because it's really hard to assemble the land in Detroit for those. You can have these pocket markets like we used to have before we had the larger grocery stores, and it can be walkable, just like you can make downtown walkable, just like you can make suburbs walkable, you can make the neighborhoods walkable, because you have people and residents that are looking for that. And what they're doing instead is walking to the Dollar Trees, they're walking to the gas stations, they're walking to the liquor stores to shop. And that is not acceptable. That should not be acceptable in Detroit.
So do you envision this as being a model that can be replicated in different places? Are you looking to maybe do that?
That has always been the goal. Because proving the point is, this is my beta, and to get the data to say this can be duplicated over and over and over again. That we don't have to have food deserts. We can place these small scale markets in strategic areas where people can walk to them.
So like you say, there are these other places, these gas stations and these whatnots around the neighborhood, or even outside of the neighborhood. What do you offer that those outfits don't provide?
Okay. So what I offer, so when people come in and it's strange, the first thing they say is, wow, it's really clean in here. That's the first thing they say, which that should never be an option when you walk into a store. That the number one thing that you notice, that the store is clean. But what I offer is, when you walk in, I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel like you belong here. So I'm in commercial real estate. I've gone and traveled to different places in the city, and sometimes when I walk into places, I don't feel welcome because I don't see anything that refers to me or something I would be interested in. So that is also what I'm offering. And then I'm offering the healthy food options. I have snacks, I have healthy food options. I have spaces where you can use, like if you need the co-working space, you want to have a small event in your area. So what I'm offering basically is just a good environment with some good vibes. And when you walk in, you feel good, and you feel good when you leave. And hopefully you'll take that good feeling and take it somewhere else. That's what I'm offering. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm not interested in being in competition with anyone. I'm only interested in doing what I'm supposed to do.
Now you've been doing this, the Kornr Store has been open since last October, so almost a year, 9 months or something like that. How's it going so far?
So far, I am getting used to a lot of trends and the people and my customers, and learning their patterns and learning how they spend, and asking them what they want to see, because one of the things also is I ask you what you want, as opposed to the majority of the stores. They have set, if you go from store to store, it's the same type of items from the same type of places, and the thing is that they're low quality, they're not good for you, they're high in salt content. And if you go back and look at the data from before the pandemic to during the pandemic to now, you'll see that the health disparities have increased. And that's all because someone else is selecting your food for you. And because you're not mobile, and particularly with seniors, you're not mobile, you got to eat. You're going to go to where there's food. And that's not right. Right.
So what was the biggest challenge in getting from where you were, a couple of years ago when you were dealing with the class, to having this place open today? What's the biggest challenge you faced?
Like financially or
just
personally?
Whatever, overall.
I'm going to say the two biggest challenges was the back office paper documentation, because while you are going from construction, you're managing everything, but then you go right into operations, but you still have a load of documentation that you have to complete. And then I'm going to say the second thing was, once I got done with construction, which I love doing development, I love having an idea and building it, and then it got to the part of operations, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm not really a customer service person. I've never done a cash register, so I had to be in what I call uncomfortable places, learning about the inventory, the PO system, the everything. And I just said, after about 2 weeks of slow rolling the opening, I said, Brinda, you just got to just do what you got to do. Use the same skill sets that you use to do everything else and just do this. And that was it, just getting over the hurdle of like, wait a minute, now I got to actually operate it. Because it's one thing to have it in your head, and then it's another thing like, oh, okay. The day-to-day. So those were two things, just getting over the challenges of, okay, now I have to, because I'm going to be behind the office, do the numbers type of thing, but now you're having the customer interaction, which I love it because I have a lot of rich conversations with my customers, and I really learned a lot about people and myself. So so it's been different.
So now that you're into it and things are going along, can you envision kind of taking the next step and having more corner stores?
Yeah, I've already started that process, having a conversation. I need to take on a partner, and so I'm having that conversation about having more corner stores. Because the goal is, I mean, I'm not going to live forever. So the goal is to duplicate these, and the only way you can duplicate those is to start.
Okay. Now I remember going back to the class, the students, you had a team of students working with you from the class, and one of their big concerns, and probably because a lot of them, aren't from the city, aren't familiar with the city, the neighborhoods and whatnot, one of their concerns was safety. How is this place going to exist and be safe, a place where people can come and
I'm going to say,
is that a risk,
Okay, so safety is a question no matter where you are. So safety can never be just because it's in a black neighborhood. Safety can be in the suburbs, safety can be on the freeway, safety can be everything. But you still have to be smart about where you are. So the way this place is designed, I hope to have minimized some of that. I have cameras practically everywhere. I have cameras that go right to my phone. And also, part of it is I greet people at the door, so I can make eyeball contact and say, hey, how you doing? And just welcome them in. So no matter if, and I'm not going to say I've never thought about safety before, but I'm here.
It hasn't been an issue so far.
No, because I set a tone when you walk in. So I set a tone in. We're not gonna have no mess up in here. So but like I said, the majority of my customers are, I told you earlier, they're men. And I realized that in this, and I had never thought of it, men have very little support. They carry a lot in them. They're told not to complain. They're told to just press forward. And I've met different age levels that I'm like, I am amazed at some of the things they've gone through, and they're still surviving. And just having those conversations of supporting them and talking to them, and then they come back and they're like, oh yeah, I've been watching your store. I got customers around, they're like, oh yeah, we keep watching your store. So I feel like I'm in the neighborhood, because I know I was probably a little questionable at first, but I feel like I'm in the neighborhood because I try to be, I'm just very open and direct, and that's it. So I don't know, I'm not going to walk, I mean, what can I do? I could get in the car and have a problem. So
that reminds me of when Barack Obama was running for president, and people would ask Michelle if she was worried about his safety, right? And she said he could get shot just, walk to the store. So I'm not going to worry about it, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm aware and I pay attention, but it's not like the number one thing on my mind.
Okay. Well, that issue of the stories, it sounds interesting. And, just sitting here today talking to you, talking to your mother-in-law, it seems like there might be some opportunity, even as part of what you're doing here, to capture those stories from people in the neighborhood. Right? I was talking to a friend of mine who's doing this kind of stuff, Afro-urbanism, whatnot. I don't know, do you know Lauren Hood?
Her name sounds familiar.
She's establishing this Afro-urbanism Institute.
Oh, yes.
She's collecting stories of black people who thrive and trying to figure out why they thrive and whatnot. But just to understand the stories of people in the neighborhood, because this is part of the neighborhood, right?
Right.
So I don't know how that takes shape, but
I am constantly digesting it because what I read in the reports for the neighborhoods are somewhat different than reality. Mm-hmm. So that just made me think even more. Like I question more about reports that I read. Yeah. And question, like, have you actually spoken to people? Yeah. Or there was some LinkedIn conversation and the fellow was talking about, it was some topic, and I was like, so per my experience, it's been X, Y, Z. Because there's a lot of people who talk about what they've read or what they went to school with, and I'm going to just be upfront about this, particularly in real estate development. There's a lot of people who have never done real estate development, but they're trained for their positions to talk about it, but they don't have the experience in it. Yeah, yeah. So there's a difference between being in it, and even with my experience, I had consistently been working with people who had wealth and had money, and they didn't have to worry about how they were going to build something. It's totally different. And then you would read about development in the city and how it was not going anywhere, and you can make your own assumptions, of negative assumptions of why that would be. But it's not until I got into it and I started seeing all these different areas that were not really functioning together. They were not coordinated, not coordinated efforts. Like here, like the strategic neighborhoods, there's coordinated funding to make those deals happen, to support the small scale developers and stuff. When you don't have that coordination, it's not going to happen. I got my biggest credibility from having my project on smallchange.co. I got some credibility from that.
What is Small Change?
It's a platform for fundraising. So basically, you pitch your project, and then you set your terms, and then investors can invest pre-development money into your project, construction. They can invest into your project. I got the biggest credibility from that than me being 30 years in commercial real estate and doing what I do. And so once I got that credibility, I launched the rest of what I wanted to do off of that. Yeah. But it was hard coming from what I was doing to learning that this is how I needed to shift to get my project done, because everybody told me no. Because for some reason, I've had a lender, and I've said this before, I had a lender that basically did not realize that. He basically said, well, you've not had grocery experience before. You're a woman. How is that going to work? And I'm like, well, it's an 800 square foot store. It's in Detroit, and black people like to eat too. What's the problem? Okay. But I was not what he was used to seeing. So he didn't want to give me money. I probably had 15 people tell me no over and over again for a small store. You have elements of the business, but you also have elements of the real estate. No one was looking at the elements of the real estate. This is a merging neighborhood. I came here for a purpose, but I also came here because this was a good investment. Yeah.
So you own the property.
I own it all. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So not only is a business, but it's another business owning the real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And it doesn't have to be a huge piece of real estate.
It does not.
Again, with your model, you could do this in other places. Pick the spots, and put up another
part of making it flexible. If you have a project that you make it flexible, you can turn it into anything. Yeah. You limit yourself when you say it's only got to be this, it's only got to be that. So you want to be flexible with the design.
So Brinda today versus Brinda, 3 years ago, if you were giving yourself advice as you're getting into this thing, what would Brinda today tell Brinda of, say, 2019, even longer, further ago? What would Brinda of 2025 tell Brinda of 2019?
It would have been nice to say, Brinda, have some more money, but there wasn't any money for me to get. It's been a journey. It's been something I never planned. I never thought it was going to be this. I'm grateful that God led me to it, because it's made me a better person. But I don't know what I could have told. The other Brinda would have ran if she had known what she would, because she's conservative. She's not. She would have said,
"You just had
we're
to
not."
get,
Yeah, but it was. Like I said, God led me this way, and part of it, you have to be obedient to what you're told to do. And so I'm not saying I wasn't kicking and screaming along the way, saying, "You sure this is what you want me to do?" Yeah, but it's been amazing on many levels, basically improving me as a human.
Yeah.
So I'm a lot more gracious than I was before.
Yeah. So what's the most gratifying thing that comes out of this whole experience for you?
I'm going to say the men and the people that I've met and the stories that because you have these perceptions of people, and I've had conversations with people that I have never would have met any otherwise. And the other thing is, part of my personality, I'm a connector. So I'm always asking them, what do you want? What do you need, or whatever? And I've had conversations with people that I know I've impacted them, just like I've had people in my life impact me. And I believe that that's what we're here for. We're here to help people and not be stingy with our information and resources. And I believe when I'm here and you come in, that if there's something I can connect you with, I'm going to try my best to do it. Yeah. And I've had people give me back information too. And so I'm going to say that's it. Just having really, for this model, living up to part of what his goal was to have the connection, because people want that. They want to. It's nice. I'm an introvert. I like to be at home on the computer and stuff. But you also need some human connection and to have some conversations with people, as opposed to just reading something that's not even fully developed content and coming up with a real perspective, as opposed to what you think you read or what somebody told you what to think. But being able to process it yourself and say, you know what, this is a good person right here. They had some hard times, but they're going to get past it and it's going to be all right. Yeah, so that I'm going to say that's it, because that's what I was like, God, this is why you got me here? Okay. Okay. And then it became clear.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get a latte before I leave here, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I appreciate my niece, Karen, the Karen Davis Burton, the proprietor, owner, the founder of Space Lab Detroit, for connecting us in the first place. And I look forward to seeing what you do with this store and with this model as we go forward. And if there's any way we can help with the resources of the Urban Entrepreneurship Initiative or University of Michigan, that people I'm connected with there, I will certainly do everything we can do to
and I appreciate your support in the beginning. I do. It's good. I really appreciate the support, because sometimes you're just on this road and you're like, and then you get these drops of support, and I appreciate it, because it helps a lot.
Well, you've helped us, and you've helped my students a lot too, because now they see what it's really about. Right, not just theoretical stuff in the book. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Reg, you have any question? Did I leave out anything?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.